Oh wow. What the fuck am I doing? Umineko no Nakukora ni. What am I saying? Okay. Get out of your File Explorer. Get out of your Steam. Discord you can show. The Discord and the chat over here. Okay, I don't even like remember where I left off last time. This might be a little like brain dead because I don't even know what's going on anymore in this, but wait, is this? Okay. Wait. Any previously suspended game? Yeah, load. Oh, I'm blinded. Oh yeah, Battler was freaking being a pervert last time. It's all coming back. Okay, wait. Just looking at the chat a little bit. The Discord. Okay. Bruh. I need a reboot. Alright. Maybe it's... Oh yeah, I don't know. I thought this would maybe like get me sleepy if I was just reading for a while. But yeah, maybe it's like... Maybe I should check the audio's good. Whenever no one's in the chat to tell me if the audio is good, I get a little bit worried. I gotta make sure it's pristine. Alright, yeah, it seems good. I just need to maybe turn down the music just a tad bit. Okay. Maybe it's like a servant's professional name or something. If so, that may explain why her name's so similar to Cannon-kun, that kid I met earlier in the Rose Garden. What the frick was that? Okay, she's a long-term servant who served here since she was 6 years old. Her appearance had changed so much they couldn't match her to the person of my memories, but we both knew each other 6 years ago. That shy part of her had always been there, but she did seem to have developed the allure you'd expect of a girl her age. mean by that? What? Bro, okay, well, I didn't think he was gonna actually say it, but yeah.
さっき会ったカノ君は彼女の弟なんだよ。
Bro. George, what? This man just gives off like the weirdest energy ever. What that kid we met earlier, Canon-kun, is her little brother.
弟というわけでは。
Okay. Shannon. Do I know Shannon? I'm trying to think if I actually like knew any of these freaking people. Not exactly my little brother.
でも私のことを姉と慕ってくれます。何か失礼なことはしませんでしたか？
Cause you any trouble? You know, I don't exactly remember if he did, but I'm sure he did. Jessica. Hey.
相変わらずいつも通りだぜ。
It's the same as always.
もうちょっと愛想よくすればいいの
You
に
were
よ。
just a bit more
もったいないやつ。
sociable.
カノン君がご迷惑をおかけしたようで
Paul does
申し
see
訳ございま
cause
せん。
you trouble, okay.
別に迷惑なんか
Oh
何
dear
も。
God.
同じ男としてわかるさ。
Bro wants the boob so
あ
bad.
りゃ気難しい年頃だ。
I understand how moody you can get at that age.
愛想が悪いのは
I'm sure you do.
当たり前だぜ。
Oh my god. Maria.
マリアもよく言われる。愛想悪いって言われる。
How are you unsociable exactly?
カノンと一緒。
I don't know about that one, but keep turning.
マリア様は
Yeah,
愛想
yeah.
悪くなんかありません。
That's what I've been saying the whole time.
一緒が良かった。
She does only know like one like letter in the alphabet though. So besides that.
食事の準備ができたんだっけ？
The meal's ready? Oh, we're going to the dining table? Did we already do that?
失礼いたしました。お食事のご用意が整いましたので、皆様をお屋敷へご案内いたします。
Oh, we're not in the mansion yet? Shannon bowed again formally and returned to her duty mode. You realized that if we made her stick around for any more light conversation, it would actually make it harder for her to do her job. We got up off our butts to avoid interfering with her work any further. Okay.
じゃあお屋敷に行こうか。
I guess, bro. Why are you blushing at me?
みんなもお腹が空いてたところでしょ。
だな。
Jazzy.
ゴ
Yeah.
ーダさんがいる時の飯は楽しみなんだよ。あの人どこぞの有名ホテルでシェフをやってたらしくて、かなり料理の腕があるんだぜ。
I think so far I like Jessica's design the most.
ほうほう。
There's
それ
another
楽し
girl,
み。
but I don't even remember half them, so.
行こうぜマリア。ガツガツ犬みたいに食い散らかすぞ。
Okay, someone needs to teach her her ABCs.
犬みたいに食い散らかす。
U is
Dame,
in
dame.
every letter in the alphabet.
バトラ君の言うことはいちいち真に受けちゃダメだよ。全部冗談なんだから。さあ行こう行こ
Let's go. Okay. Under Shannon Chan's guidance, we headed towards the mansion. Is that my new voice? Whatever this is. This is what happens when I stream at night. I just turned into an absolute crackhead. Okay. Met once again by the magnificent rose garden. We continued onward as the intimidating mansion of the Yushiro Miya head family, I don't even know how to pronounce that still, I think I figured it out, but now I forgot again, came into view. It had apparently been built shortly after the war, so you could feel the dignity of almost a half-century hanging about it. The building was gorgeous on the surface, but old as it was, equipment such as its AC and heating were apparently quite frail. According to Jessica, midwinter was especially tough, what with all the drafts. Haven't these people ever heard of a kotatsu? These people haven't, because I don't know what that means. Oh, it's the freaking Beatrici guy. I think. Right? I don't know. Okay. As we entered the entrance hall, an aged servant greeted us. Now him, I remembered. Genji, who had been working here longer than anyone, filled the role of head servant.
Batora-sama.
Okay.
お久しゅうございます。
Sometime since we last met. As our eyes met, he greeted me with a calm, composed voice. His bow wasn't as graceful or refined as Goda's, but despite its simplicity, it communicated his feelings very well.
源氏さん、本当にお久しぶりっす。お元気そうですね。
おかげさまで
These
健やかに過ごさせていただいております。
I don't know how I haven't grasped this yet. I just keep just too many delays between these streams.
バトラ様こそご立派になられました。
Oh god, I broke my freaking spine. It's fucked. Okay.
親方様の若き日に少し似てこられました。
俺がじい様に？ってことは、さぞやじい様は若い頃モテたろうな。
ここからはシャノンに代わって私がご案内申し上げます。
Fru, yeah, it's Fru, right? What's going on? Yeah, I haven't seen you in so long. You're at work? How's that going? What, from here on I shall take Shannon's place in the company.
どうぞこちらへ。
Alright. Shannon bowed deeply and watched us leave. After that, we headed towards the dining room under Genji's guidance. Genji, just like Kumasawa, stood in stark contrast to us young people who had grown beyond recognition over the last 6 years. His appearance was exactly the same as in my memories from 6 years ago. It was as though time had stopped since the last time we met. Genji-san was an extremely quiet and diligent person. He was basically grandfather's close aide or caregiver. You might even call him grandfather's companion of many years. Oh, in fact, it seems he was by grandfather's side even more often than my late grandmother was. Getting a little frisky. According to Jessica, grandfather trusted him more than any of his blood relatives. But I wonder how long he served. I never got the details, but I heard something about him being here since the very beginning, when this mansion was first constructed. Which would mean that he's dedicated half of his life to serving here. God damn. It's easy to see why he's so trusted. Yeah, I don't get the George energy from him, so I'm sure he's a good guy. Yeah, I don't know what I have against George, I just don't like him. Yeah, as we passed through a massive hall that extended up into the second story of the mansion, with no separating floor, I spotted something that hadn't existed in my memory of 6 years ago. What? Is that Beatrice? It is! Brother. That's what I've been waiting for. She's like the most important character in this game. It was an awfully big portrait hanging right in front of the stairs that rose to the second floor. Without thinking, I stopped walking, captivated by it. Kinda cute. Not Jessica level. Okay, it's... I know you don't know that whole alphabet, but... Maybe we should start with the A and go from there.
ああ、悪い。なあ、ジェシカ。あんな絵、
Well, where's Jessica?
前はあったっけ？
Pointed at the big, prominently displayed portrait in the hall. Everyone else stopped too.
ああ、そっか。
Jessica. Oh, right.
バトラが来てた頃にはあれはかけられてなかったっけ？いつからだったかな。
確か僕の記憶が正しければ一昨年あたりだったと思うよ。
Really?
さようでございます。一昨年の4月に親方様がかねてより画家に命じて描かせていたものをあそこに展示なされたのでございます。
Okay.
あのじいさまがね、わざわざ描かせてか。
Oh. Portrait suited this Western mansion, and that woman in the elegant dress gave off a sense of refinement. I couldn't have guessed her age, but her sharp eyes and the strong will she seemed to possess made her look youthful. She seemed somehow different from the composed, middle-aged woman you often see in famous pictures. If she'd had normal black hair, I might have assumed it was a portrait of my long-deceased grandmother in her prime. What? However, she had beautiful blonde hair and didn't look Japanese at all.
んで、
It's kind of a theme here, but most of them seem American.
誰だい？このご婦人
My
はよ。
wife. Was that your favorite, like, character? For Maria answered that simple question enthusiastically, as though proud she knew the answer.
マリア知ってる。ベアトリーチェ。
Yeah, Torichi, yeah.
ベア、なんだって？
ベアトリーチェ。
Like, I don't think I'll like ever forget her name after like the first like scene in this game. When that guy is freaking pouring his heart out, just saying that word. She's a witch?
バトラ君は昔聞かされたことない？
魔女？
魔女？
って、 この島の
Oh. I think I already said this, but how do you even say this word? Rokkenjima? Rokkenjima is a small island, only 10 kilometers in circumference. However, that's actually pretty massive, considering that only the Yushiromiya family lives here. I'm probably butchering all these. So, only the harbor and the area around the mansion were set up to be lived in. Beyond that, the island remained as untouched as when it was uninhabited. I'm sure George has some hideouts here. I don't know. The vast and empty forest had absolutely no lights, phones, or people passing through. To understand how dangerous that is, you need to forget your common sense as a city dweller. After all, if you happen to fall down a hole in the depths of the forest and sprain your ankle, no one would come save you, no matter how much you cried or screamed. Straight George activity. Okay, what is my hair doing right now? Okay. Then, once the sun went down, the forest would be wrapped in complete darkness, since there were no streetlights. And since there were no signs, it'd be easy to get lost and confused, losing your sense of direction inside that dark forest. Nowadays, most people see a forest as a peaceful place. To the people of bygone eras, before the light of civilization drove out the night, forests were as geographically separated from civilization as the sea. They were oceans above the ground. Fishermen who go out into the ocean are putting their lives at risk despite their technical knowledge. In the same way, hunters who go out to the forest are in danger, despite having specialized knowledge of their own. Okay, so it's a pretty sketchy place besides the mansion. If children were to go play in such a dangerous forest, something terrible might happen. Someone's parents must have thought so. Maybe grandmother first said it, or maybe it was grandfather himself. Perhaps the story's been passed down on this island since ancient times. There's a terrible witch in the forest, so you must not go in. Okay. At some point, this ghost story of Rokkenjima was born. This is the legend of Rokkenjima's witch. That's why when we talk about a witch on this island, we're referring to the master of that vast and savage forest. Come to think of it, when I stayed at this mansion as a little kid, during those eerie nights when the wind and rain pounded on the windows, I remember being terrified by a story of the forest witch who roamed around searching for human sacrifices. So, Beatrice, huh? When Aniki mentioned it, I searched my memory and was sure I recalled hearing a name like that when I was little.
なるほどな。
Oh god.
しかし、
I don't
あの魔女伝説の
know
魔
if
女
she's
に
bad or
ベ
good.
アトリーチェなんておしゃれな名前がついてたとはとんと忘れてたぜ。
Knowing stories in general, I mean, I don't know if this is like a general story, but whenever they have like a legend like that about a person, they're usually not even that bad.
じいさまめ。孫たちが信じないもんだからわざわざ絵に描きやがったか。
じいさまの妄想の中の魔女だよ。
Grandfather's delusions?
この絵を掲げた頃から現実と幻想の区別がつかなくなり始めた。
We're at a serious case of dementia.
私たちにとっては想像の中の魔女に過ぎないけど、じいさまにとっては彼女はこの島にいる存在。いる。だからそれを理解することができない私たちにもわかるようあの絵を描かせたっていうんだけど。
You see.
気持ち悪いっ
She's
たら
not
あり
even
ゃしない
like
ぜ。
a person here? They not like has no one ever
お
seen
嬢
her?
様、
Besides, I mean, I think this guy was talking about her, but
親方様にとっては大切な肖像画です。親方様の前でそのようにおっしゃられることがございませんよう固くお願い申し上げます。
why not?
わかってるぜ。頼まれても言わねえよ。
Oh, brother. Jessica glanced at the portrait with an irritated gaze before turning away.
行こうよ。食堂にみんなを待たせてるよ。
See, I see straight through those glasses of yours. He's just smiling and then he just suddenly drops it. And she's still on the apple.
お腹すいた。
Only a small portion of this island was controlled by the Yushiromiya family. All of the lawless remainder was the domain of the witch, Beatrice. You might even call her the true ruler of Rokenjima. I felt a faint revival of that unsettling sense of misfortune, which I'd felt when I learned of the tutelary? What does that even mean? Hang on. This is a job for Safari. Or Siri, I guess, but I don't really feel like it. That was just a guardian or something. And I remembered that Kumasawa tried to tell an ominous story about Rokenjima before Jessica stopped her. I don't know what she was planning to tell us about this island, but I do know one thing. It isn't the Yushiro Miya family that rules Rokenjima. It's the witch, Beatrice. That's right. After all, this is the witch's island. I see. When I looked around, everyone was already heading towards the dining room. I hurriedly chased after them. We walked up to the huge double doors that led to the dining room. Genji knocked.
お子様方をお連れいたしました。失礼いたします。
Okay. The doors were opened and we were invited inside. Classical. The dining room, which looked exactly like you'd imagine a rich person's dining room to be. Seemed better, but yeah. It's kind of like a hotel. One of those like random rooms in a hotel. at a super long table that was obviously positioned with no purpose other than to make the guests conscious of their rank. Our parents were already sitting in accordance with that ordering. Brutal. Okay. Now I'm starting to remember.
早く席につけよ。
Is this the dad or the grandpa? It's the dad, right? The battler? Oh, I didn't even read that one. Okay. The seat at the head of the table, called the incipient's chair, was for the most highly ranked, reserved for grandfather. It was still empty. He probably wanted to show up last for dramatic effect. From the perspective of someone facing the incipient's chair head on, the seating order went from left to right, with the lower ranking seats progressing in rows of 2 further away from it. Okay. So the left-hand side of the first row, closest to the incipient's chair, was where Uncle Kraus should have sat, since he was the second highest in rank. Looked like he hadn't arrived yet, so that seat was empty. Oh, this is the one. Now I remember now. All right. It's the eldest daughter of the family, Aunt Ava, who was the 3rd highest in rank. She better be looking like that. The left-hand side of the second row was for the 4th highest in rank. There sat my dad, Rudolph, the 3rd of the siblings. On the right side of the second row sat Aunt Rosa, the youngest sibling. Well, these character designs are kind of peak. Okay, at this point, you might expect their husbands and wives to come next. It was just Jessica. Jessica feels like she's like an anomaly. She has like a completely different vibe to her. Okay. Rank number 6 belonged to Jessica. Okay. George. What rank is George? Opposite her was George. Okay, that's it. I don't know why this is so funny. Okay, I sat next to Jessica. And Maria sat across from me. Do I know you? Aunt Natsui, the 10th highest in rank. Uncle Hideyoshi. Rosa go. Aunt Natsui. Okay. In the 6th row, in the final seat on the left-hand side, sat Kiri? Kyrie? The Kiri? I don't know. Seat opposite to Kiri was empty, even though silverware had been set there and everything. According to this ranking system, that spot was where Aunt Rosa's husband should be sitting. Even though he wasn't supposed to be coming, his place was made up. Normally, ranking systems of this sort give spouses equal positions as their partners. What did I say? Partners? It's their partners. But the Shiromiya family system was unique. Maybe it's a remnant of male chauvinism? Chauvinism? I sound like I never passed kindergarten right now. But if you start with the assumption that a woman's womb is just something to be borrowed, then the children of direct descent would come first, directly followed by the grandchildren. In other words, spouses have no blood ties and are therefore placed at the end of the line. It's terrible, but by this system, my grandmother would be ranked even lower than me if she were still alive. It's a little odd. In their youth, they obey their father. After they get married, their husband. After aging, their children. Okay. There's the old saying, women have no home in any realm. Huh? Long ago, when I was still incapable of figuring all this out, I thought it was so great that we could all chat in our little groups. Adult siblings with adult siblings and cousins with cousins. However, now that I can re-examine the seating order after growing up a bit, it stirs up some very complicated feelings in me. Aunt Natsui, who was married to the eldest son and was the de facto number 2 in managing this family, sat to my right, which meant that she was 2 steps lower than me in the ranking order. It was hard to imagine what might be going on inside her heart. That's why I made a small apologetic gesture towards her before sitting down.
お久しぶりですね、バトラ君。ずいぶん背が伸びましたね。
Ah, yeah, it's typical,
あ、
aunt
ああ、
stuff.
はい。食ったり食べたり食事したりしてたら、
So, like,
いつの間にかこんな身長に。
every time I, like, visit, like, my aunt or something, it's, like, always that. Got so tall.
さすが男の子ね。
Yep, we've grown just like a boy.
身長はいくつくらいあるの？
6.
180かな。
Isn't that like 5'11" or 5'10"?
つうかおばさん、そこは食べてばっかりじゃねえかって突っ込んでくださいよ。
え？ああ、ごめんなさいね。
After a short pause, she did laugh with me, but it seemed she couldn't quite figure out what she was supposed to be laughing at. Get that all the time, personally. This woman is Aunt Natsui, yeah. She is the wife of the eldest son of the family, meaning she's my father's older brother's wife. My brain is like dying right now. Is it simpler if I just call her Jessica's mother? Yeah, actually. It feels bad to say it like this, but while I didn't exactly dislike her, I didn't particularly like her either. She hardly ever spoke with us kids, and all my memories of her involve her talking to the adults about complicated things with a scary look on her face. In fact, since we hardly ever exchange words, I spent a long time trying to figure out how I should approach her. Though my efforts seem to have ended in failure. Silverware sat neatly on the table, but the meal itself hadn't been brought in yet. As a general rule, you couldn't start a meal until the person sitting at the head of the table arrived. Oh, brother. No. I'm Ian. So as long as grandfather didn't come, lunch would be put on hold indefinitely. Not even the appetizers would arrive. So, grandpa trying to kill us all? Simply put, the silence in this room was caused by our parents enduring their hunger while they waited for grandfather to arrive. I However, the grandfather, from my memories, would always show up on time to meals like this. He was the kind of person who would never be so late that it kept everyone waiting, especially after the entire group had arrived.
遅えな、じいさま。俺の記憶じゃ、時間に厳格な人だったと思うんだけどな。
まあ、6年前はそうだったかもな。最近はそうでもねえよ。というか、もう自分の世界オンリーって感じで、会食にも顔を出さねえぜ。さすがに今日くらいは足並みを揃えてくれるって思ってたんだけどな。まあ、私は来ない方が気楽で嬉しいけどよ。
A lot more relaxing without him.
ジェシカ
Jessica. No syllables for me. As we'll wait until our host arrives. When I glanced at the clock, I saw that it was almost 12:20. You got the rattlesnake bites. Kinzo, the aged family head of the Yusharomiya head family. This man could be seen in his steady. The clock had already passed noon, but he didn't even attempt to rise from his seat. With his spectacles on, he built up a growing pile of books with elaborate bindings, which he then read intently. You couldn't really say that he was having too much fun to stop. Rather, he filled the room with a sense of impatience, or perhaps a sense of impending danger, as though every second wasted was a tragedy. In the sealed room, a dense dust danced through the air, which was thick with the stench of chemicals that exuded a mix of suspicious odors. George just walked in. Those odors were somehow sweet and heavy. If anyone with a normal nose came in here, the first thing they'd do would be to open a window and ventilate this room. Can we hear a jingle? This is a change in the character sheet? Oh. Oh. How do I even go to that? System? Yeah. Oh yeah, okay. Canon Shannon. Rosa. Genji is built. Okay. Get out of my face. God dang. That's all I'm gonna say. God dang. God dang. Actually, how old is she? I forgot. God dang. Alright. Oh wait, I should probably save. Well, I'm not gonna end it. I'm not gonna end the stream or anything, but just in case. Okay. The knocking against the study door had been going on for a while. A voice calling father sometimes mingled with the knocks. As Kinzo heaved a deep sigh, he snapped shut the old book in his hands and slammed it on the table. Then he yelled at Kraus, who was still knocking on the door.
Yakamoshi!
Oh, this is the Beatrici guy. Now I remember. So is he like obsessed with like bringing her back or something?
その音を止めぬか愚か者。
叩けば扉は開かれると誰が教えた。そのバカ者は貼り付けにしたぞ。お前もそうされたいのか。
お父さん、年に一度の親族会議の日ではありませんか。皆下に集まっています。どうかおいでください。
Bro, I'm trying to eat. Kraus called out to his father through the door. Kenzo always shut himself up in the steady, hating it when nearly anyone, even his family, entered the room. For that reason, Kraus had no choice but to call to him from the corridor like this.
私にかがうでない。
Molest me not.
皆とは何か。私をここから引きずり出そうとする者どもなのか。ならば殺してしまい。バラバラにして薪にして魔女の炉にくべてしまい。その炉には鍋をかけて苦いおもぎを煮るがいい。
Okay. True.
黙示録の煮汁はそれでも私をここから連れ出そうとするバカ者どもに飲ませてやる。残りは酒につけるのだ。ああ、源氏はどこだ。
I think Kenzo is just me when I'm like finally finished with this visual novel after like 10 years.
源氏を呼べ。苦害の魔師を用意させろ。緑の妖精のささやきが届かぬ。
The Green Fairy.
ああ、源氏はどこだ。源氏を呼べ。
On the other side of the door, Kraus, Nanjo, and Genji kept waiting for the master of the house, who stubbornly refused to come out. What the frick are you?
すっかり嫌われてしまったようだ。
It's like he hates me to the core.
もう私の声では何も届かんよ。
Oh, I just realized that the webcam's a little bit blocking their entire name. Kraus shrugged as though saying it's no use, and smiled bitterly. From the beginning, he hadn't really expected his father to respond to his calls. However, since it was the duty of the eldest son, he had tried as a formality.
金蔵さん、あんたの顔を見に息子や娘や孫たちが来てるんじゃないか。ちょっと顔を見せてやったらどうだね。
うるさい、黙れ。
Oh, brother.
私に意見するというか何条。
Bro's obsessed with Beatrice.
貴様など呼んではおらぬ。私は源氏を呼べと言ったのだ。
He's gotta be a tier 3 sub.
さあ急げ、すぐに呼べ。
What?
時間は常に有限だ。人たちはすでにラッパを構えているぞ。なぜにそれがわからぬか愚かな羊どもめ。
I'm like pushing through this right now. Okay. Kenzo slammed an old heavy book against the table over and over. What? That racket clearly expressed his great displeasure. Displeasure? Forgot how to do words. Kenzo put his spectacles down and flew up from his chair. He spread his arms wide open as if to sing to a packed opera house, as if appealing to someone, and yelled.
なぜだ。なぜにいつも私には邪魔が入るのか。すべてを捨てよう、すべてを捧げよう。その見返りに私は一つしか求めないというのに。
The voice actor's throat was bleeding after this one.
おー、ベアトリーチェ、お前の微笑みをもう一度見られるならば、私は世界中から美少を奪い取り、すべてをお前に捧げよう。
Why is he like so obsessed with Beatrice?
おお、イナゴの軍団長たちよ、世界中から美少を刈り取り収穫せ。
You have like powers over his mind?
ああ、すべてが汚らわしい、すべてが煩わしい。
Irksome.
なぜこの貴重な一日に私は邪魔を受けねばならぬのか。
何を怒鳴ってるのかもさっぱりだな。
That phase. I have no idea what he's doing.
もう頭がどうにかなっているのか。
I lost his mind by now. He's just down bad. It's as simple as that.
クラウスさん、実のお父さんにそりゃあんまりじゃないかね。
親父はすでに死んでいる。ここにいるのは親父だったものの幻さ。いずれにせよ本人にここを出る意志がない以上どうにもならんね。
金蔵さん。
Choking coughs continued to pour from the steady.
私は下に戻る。ゴーダの自慢のランチをこれ以上無駄に冷ましてしまうことはない。親類たちにとって当家での数少ない
Kraus spun around. He looked at his watch, mumbling and acting as though he had wasted time doing something he knew would be in vain.
源氏さん、親父殿がお呼びだ。相手を頼む。
かしこまりました。
南條先生、食事に行きましょう。いつまでもここにいると、この甘い匂いで味覚までおかしくなってしまう。
Oh, Genji urged Nanjo to go and eat. Or Nanjo? Is that how it's pronounced? Nanjo glanced between the steady door and Kraus's back as the latter disappeared down the stairs and let out a deep sigh.
すまんが源氏さん、頼みます。
はい、お任せください。
お酒はなるべく与えないように。あれは常習性が強すぎる。
源氏はまだか。何者が源氏を阻んでいるというのか。源氏はどこだ。源氏を呼べ。
さあ。
Bro, Genji has to put up with that every single day.
ここはお任せください。
Bro is strong.
すみませんな。
Nanjo bowed slightly and descended the stairs. Genji watched him leave, then knocked on the steady door.
親方様、源氏でございます。
源氏か。何故私をこれほどに待たすのか。そこには誰もおるまいな。
はい、私だけでございます。
Kenzo returned to his seat in the steady and pressed an old-fashioned switch on the table. After a small delay, the heavy sound of the door unlocking could be heard. Kenzo was convinced that his family wanted to make a mess of the steady. Perhaps someone had once opened the window for some air and ended up scattering things that, to him, were important research materials, leaving him in a terrible mood. Kenzo had outfitted his room with a formidable lock, preventing anyone from entering without his permission, and thereby sealing himself in a jail of his own making. Genji, whom he trusted the most, was relatively free to enter the room, but even that didn't always hold. If Kenzo was in a bad mood, even Genji wouldn't be able to enter. Anyone else would be limited to holding a conversation through the door, unable even to see Kenzo's face. And most of the time, what they got could hardly be called a conversation. However, this didn't trouble the rest of the family much. After all, it just wasn't worth the effort to disturb this aging family head, who was impossible to please and always stayed shut away, immersed in his research. He just let me through. Taking advantage of his refusal to leave his room, they supported his isolation, putting his care entirely into the hands of the servants. Well, I legit thought they were like the exact same person for that.
Oh,
I don't know why I'm like subconsciously like skipping this. Their suspicious looking bottles boasting venomous colors were on display. All that. They were actually liquor, but considering the shady atmosphere of this room, one might easily suspect them of being some ghastly poison. Inside the steady, the mysterious collection of books gathered by Kenzo had grown into a mountain. There were bizarre, ancient or banned books, all of them either forbidden, cursed, or sealed. If you tried to call them old books, Kenzo would fly into a rage and say, called him grimoires? There were also many mysterious objects that presumably held some meaning with regards to black magic, like candles suspiciously melted and molded into strange shapes. Constellations drawn on a certain celestial globe contained quite a few shapes that would draw puzzled looks from anyone familiar with today's night sky. The carelessly strewn about books contained many illustrations, all of them of a religious or mysterious nature, including some depicting demonically grotesque subjects or bizarre diagrams of various magic circles. And above all, a sweet, poisonous smell filled the room, profoundly assaulting the eyes and noses of those who entered for the first time. The George curse. Eventually, it must surely make a person go numb and lose their grip on reality. Inside that steady, Genji prepared Kenzo's usual drink with a well-trained hand. No one would even think of drinking such an ominous dark green liquid in that complex and ornate glass, unless someone first told them it was alcohol. He poured a little into the glass. Then he placed a cube of sugar in a strangely shaped spoon and poured water from a pitcher over it. But knowing him, he probably has some like freaking Beatrice like ashes in that freaking alcohol. It was a strange optical illusion, as though the water had caused a chemical reaction and made the drink become even more unrecognizable as liquor. Then, Genji added original flavors Kenzo loved, fine-tuning its taste. There was no recipe. Its success was measured only by Kenzo's mood swings when he drank it, and it had taken Genji many decades to learn how to do it right. Sorry. I was like kind of doing like a voice for these at like the beginning of the stream, but my throat's just like dying now from all this reading. I'm just like monotoning my way through this now. Okay. Genji placed the glass on a tray and walked over to Kenzo. By this time, Kenzo was gazing out the window.
どうぞ、親方様。
ああ、すまん。
Kenzo had regained his composure and was now unrecognizable as the shouting, screaming, yelling man from a few moments ago. Looking at this man from behind as he tilted his glass and gazed down at the scenery beyond the window, he projected a sense of dignity and intelligence. To allow Kenzo to set his glass down at any time, Genji motionlessly waited behind Kenzo and to his left, so he were a living sideboard. Then, without averting his eyes from the window, Kenzo held out his glass. There was only a mouthful remaining. It was not a gesture intended to set it upon the tray, but a motion to hand the glass over to Genji.
飲め、我が友よ。
もったいないお言葉です。
私とお前の中に儀礼はいらぬ。飲め、友よ。
いただきます。
She likes someone besides Beatrice. Genji respectfully received the glass and inclined it a little to taste its contents. After that, he gulped it down.
お前が作るのを真似ているのだが、どうにも同じ味が出ぬ。
What's going on? Oh my god, bro. Someone poured like lemon juice in my eyes. Okay.
お前が作る方がうまい。
ありがとうございます。親方様のご指導の賜物です。
Kenzo smiled at his loyal subject, who refused to put aside rank even when asked to. However, they just love saying however, he was not making fun of him. His smile was relaxed, as though chuckling at a close friend's old, unshakable habits.
互いに老いたな。年を数えることも忘れてすでに久しい。
今日まで過ごすことをお許しいただけたのも、すべて親方様のおかげでございます。
Kenzo gave a faint smile as if to say he didn't need any flattery.
今日まで本当によく私に仕えてくれた。息子たちは誰もが私を変人呼ばわりした。
might be onto something.
大勢いた使用人も皆私を恐れてやめていった。
This is like an episode of like
お
Kitchen
前
Nightmares.
だけが今でも私に仕えてくれる。
もったいないお言葉です。
私の余命もそう長くはあるまい。息子たちは私の遺産がいつ転がり込んでくるかをうろうろ待つハゲタカばかりだ。
Oh.
クラウスの愚か者は金を湯水のように使い、1枚の金貨を売るのに2枚の金貨を捨てておる。それで金を稼げたなどと妄言を。エヴァは金の亡者だ。あやつは私を鶏か何かだと思っておる。死んだらガラにして出汁まで取る気だ。
In power or something?
ルドルフの間抜けは女遊びばかり。
Oh. So that's where Barely gets from.
ローザはどこの馬の骨ともわからん男の赤ん坊など産みおって、ジェシカは無能で無学だ。ジョージには男としての器がない。
Georgia has none of what it takes to be a man. You know, we agree on one thing.
バトラーは後ろ宮家の栄養を自らマリアなど見るのも汚らわしい。なぜだ、なぜに後ろ宮の血はこうも無能なのか。
Her face is amazing. That's got to be like the next like thumbnail right there.
私の築き上げた栄光を受け継ぐにふさわしい者はおらんのか。ああ、分かっておるとも。これがベアトリーチェの呪いであることも分かっておる。黄金の魔女め、それが私への復讐のつもりか。憎みたくば憎むがよい。逃げたければ逃げるがよい。逃がさぬ、逃がさぬ、逃がさぬ、逃がさぬ。お前は私のものだ。常に私の腕の中でなくてはならん。私の将、我が鳥かごにて永遠に私だけにささやき続けるのだ。ベアトリーチェ、なぜに微笑み返してはくれぬ。
Bro, it's a parasocial relationship. It's not healthy for you. After howling, Kenzo choked once again. Genji set the tray and glass down and rubbed his master's back. Genji's facial expression did not change. He was always like this. I'm sure. When his seemingly deranged fit subsided, Kenzo regained his composure once again. It was like seeing two different people, a wild Kenzo and a composed Kenzo, living together inside of one body. Bro's got that Beatrice in him.
私は決心した。このままぼやききった余生を怠慢に過ごすことなどもはや耐えられはせん。 この身に最後にとするコインがあるならば、それを悪魔たちのルーレットに託してみたい。魔法の力はいつもかけるリスクで決まる。
So is he like...
日本古来の呪術である牛の国参りがそうであろう。
I feel like, I mean, I guess if you're kind of getting close to death, you'd kind of grasp onto any chance of, you know, having some power. In this case, I guess it's like literal power, but in real life, you'd want something, since you're like kind of getting weaker and frail when you get older. I don't know if he's actually going through that. Maybe it's just like a curse from Beatrice or something, but Kenzo is also based on Dante, who was apparently obsessed with a woman named Beatrice, but no one around him actually ever saw her, so we don't know if she was real or he made it up. Food for thought. Who's Dante? Is that from this game? So what am I even like looking for in here? Do these like change? Dante the Philosopher, I see. From the Divine Comedy. Yeah.
7日間儀式を目撃されてはならないというリスクを支払うからこそ魔力が宿る。困難なリスクが生じれば生じるほどに魔力は強く生じるのだ。神話に登場する数々の奇跡は天文学的リスクに奇跡的な低確率を得て成就した驚愕すべき魔力の結晶なのだと言える。モーゼが海を割ったのは神の奇跡ではない。蹂躙の計りに乗せられ軍勢によって航海に追い詰められた絶対絶命のリスクが奇跡の魔力を生んだのだ。同じことが同じ規模で繰り返されようとも再び海が割れることはないだろう。なぜならモーゼは力ある者たちのルーレットのアソーギナユタをかけたよりも多く存在する目の中に一つだけ刻まれた奇跡を見事引き寄せることができたからだ。その天文学的確率に勝利できる力。そう、奇跡をつかみ取る運気はすなわち魔力なのだ。強大な魔力を得るためには絶望的なリスクを背負わねばならぬ。魔力もたぬ者はそれを賭けでなく自暴自棄と呼ぼう。しかし真に魔力ある者はその奇跡をつかみ取り神秘を成就させるのだ。もしも私にその魔力があるならば私はその奇跡をつかみ取るだろう。生涯を費やした願いを実現できるだろう。
Okay. I'm working on like one brain cell right now, but maybe I understood that. Kenzo looked up at the sky outside the window. Spread his arms as if appealing to someone up in the skies.
もし私にその奇跡を手にする資格があったなら、おお アトリーチェ、ベアトリーチェ、お前の愛くるしい笑顔をもう一度だけ見せてくれ。どれほどの月日を経ようともお前の面影が消えることはない。ただお前の美少が見たい、それだけだ。お前から授かったものを全て返そう。あの日からの栄光を全てお前に返そう。富も名誉も黄金もいらぬ。お前に授かった全てを返そう。私はただお前の美少神五将だ。ベアトリ。
Oh my god, bro. Gets so slumped to the floor, tearing at it with both hands. Genji had no choice but to wordlessly watch over his master's lamentations. I don't know what else she would do in that situation.
やあ諸君、当主様は具合が優れられないとのことだ。せっかくこうして1年ぶりの会合に集まってくれた諸君と昼食を共にできないことを非常に残念にしておられた。ゴーダ、ランチを始めてくれ。
Finally.
かしこまりました。それでは本日の昼食を始めさせていただきます。
南條先生、そんなにお父様のお具合は悪いの？
Just go to the library.
せめて顔くらい見せてくれてもいいわよね。
体調というよりは機嫌ですな。こればかりはつける薬がありませんので。
おいおい、機嫌ってまたかよ。そりゃないぜ。こちとら秋のクソ忙しい時期にスケジュール都合してご機嫌伺いに来てるんだ。それをよ。
よかったじゃないか、ルドルフ。ご機嫌は伺えたんだ。それとも不機嫌な親父殿を私に代わりお前が説得して連れてきてくれるのかね。
まさか。
Bro shit. Apparently, though Rudolph was willing to be indignant at how self-centered his father was, he wasn't particularly disappointed to be spared a face-to-face meeting.
夕食までにはその機嫌治りそうなの？クラウス兄さん。
そんなことは知らんよ。親父殿に直接聞いてみるといい。もっとも声をかけない方が機嫌の治りは早いと思うがね。
源氏さんだけだよ、じい様の機嫌を直せるのは。情けないぜ。自分の親の機嫌を使用人に直させるんだからよ。
ジェシカ、余計なことは言わなくていい。
She planned for her complaint to be heard only by her cousins, but it had reached even Krause's ears. Scolded, Jessica scowled and turned away sulking.
機嫌がうんぬんってことは病状はそんな悪くないんじゃねえの？元気がないってんならともかく、機嫌が悪いってのは少なくとも気はしっかりしてる証拠だぜ。
Yeah, he's definitely got the energy to him. That's for sure.
おじい様は特に強い気力をお持ちだからね。でも体が必ずしもそれに伴い、去年からずっと余命3ヶ月って言われ続けてる。
yeah, Kenzo being at this table is probably the last thing they want.
最初の診断が正しいなら、おじい様は気力だけで流らえてるってことになる。
Bro would make them all dress up like Beatrice.
気遣ってあげないといけないよ。
Lunch started with the family head seat still empty. The man who should be sitting there had already grown old, and the brilliant glory which had rebuilt the Yushiromiya family in the span of a single lifetime was being forgotten. Even though they were beginning the meal with that seat still empty, no one felt it was that odd anymore. Oh. Well, that's a good time in the stream. I thought that was just gonna go on like forever. But they did actually paste it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end it there. Save. Hey, bro, he was talking about. Bro was out of pocket. He was talking about like boiling them alive. Offer them up to the witch. Yeah, I don't know. Bro's got a lot going on. I guess we'll find out later. He's definitely very mysterious. Yeah, it's not bad. I also just haven't slept yet. I probably would have streamed a little bit longer if I had like at least 1 hour of sleep, but yeah, it's still pretty entertaining. I have some like inside jokes already for this game. Hate this guy, but title screen. All right, well, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I'm sorry that the stream took like 20,000 years to come back. Wait, what dad would you smooch? Oh, frig. Let me go back real quick. I need to look at them. Wait, what? Oh, what counts as a dad? Is this a dad? Are all the servants dads? Or doesn't even seem like all the characters. There's like nothing in the tips. Kenji. Let's go to Kenji. Rudolph is just too cocky. Freaking kids. I don't know, man. Bro is like terrifying. I don't know. Probably Genji, yeah. Out of all of them, I don't trust anyone else or like anyone else really. I guess Hideyoshi is also a contender. But yeah. Alright.